Honorable members have examined and approved the voting proceedings of Tuesday, 27 February 2018. We'll take announcements. In the gallery today, we have the students of Standard Basic Nursery Primary and High School from New Nyanya National State. If you're there, could you please rise? Round of applause for them. Thank you for coming. Kindly take your seats. Also in the gallery, students of Jetron Eagles Academy from Kubu, Abuja. Could you please rise if you're there? Round of applause for them. Thank you for coming. Kindly take your seats. The gallery students of the Bells Comprehensive Secondary School from Ogun State in Nigeria. Could you please rise? Round of applause for them. Where is Honorable Kazim? Thank you for coming. Okay. Thanks for coming. Kindly take your seats. Last but not least, I guess, I hope so, students of Premier International School, they are from Wusatu, Abuja. Could you please rise? Round of applause for them. Where is Honorable Shehu Garba? He's not on the floor. Thank you for coming. Kindly take your seats. More announcements. Pursuant to a legislative agenda and standing orders of the House of Representatives, the House has scheduled a sectoral debate on the iron and steel sector of the national economy as follows. Date Thursday, 1st March 2018. Time is 11 a.m. Venue is the chambers of the House of Representatives. Accordingly, relevant papers on the debate have been posted to pigeonholes of honorable members in hearing room 2 at the House. All honorable members are enjoined to attend, please. There's one other announcement. I will recognize the leader to make that announcement on our behalf relating to the passing away of a former honorable member representing Sweden Federal Constituency of the House of Representatives.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's with heavy heart that I announce that the death, passing away of a former member who was in the First Republic in 79, Alhaji R.A. Shitabe, member of my constituency, former member of this House of Representatives, one of the very first set. Alhaji R.A. Shitabe passed away about a week ago, and I believe as it's traditional, it is important to recognize his service to our beloved country, his service in the House, and perhaps and stand for a minute silence in his memory. I so move.
So, honorable colleagues, as is the tradition of this honorable House, may we please rise to observe a minute silence in honor of our departed colleague. his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Any member who has a petition to present to the House may please rise to do so. Any petition? Honorable Abiente.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and distinguished colleagues. I am Awajin Nonbeg Dagogi Abiente. I represent Andoni Bobo, one of the constituency, Mr. Speaker. I rise to present a petition from the Association of Tutorial School Operators. The petition is moved on the issues arising from the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board. They observed that admission processes for 2017 were ongoing until about the end of January. And in less than 8 weeks, they have asked prospective candidates for 2018 exams to have completed registration and also fixed a date for the exams. They are also querying the fact that JAMB is almost becoming a revenue generating agency, where they are asking for 2,500 naira for any correction that will be made and charging 50 naira in the place of 4 naira for any SMS that is so generated. Mr. Speaker, these are the areas that they require intervention from this Honorable House. I therefore want to seek your leave and the leave of my colleagues to lay this petition before the House for consideration. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Please proceed and lay the petition. Any more petitions? There's none. Petition referred to the House, to the Committee on Public Petition. Point of order from Honorable Ezinwa.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Ezinwa Francis Onewuchi. I represent the Owerri Federal Constituency of Imo State. Mr. Speaker, Honorable colleagues, I come under Order 824. Matter of urgent public importance, to move a motion on the need to celebrate the Nigerian Labour Congress on the occasion of our 40th anniversary today. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I also want to move for the suspension of our relevant rules so that this matter can be taken now. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Secondly, the first limb of the motion, Honorable Umar Jega.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Honorable colleagues. Mohammed Umar Jega, representing Alero Gondu Jega constituency. I rise to second the motion, heavily moved by my honorable colleagues. I so come.
Those in favor of the motion that the matter be considered urgent, say aye. Those against it, say nay. Ayes have it. Second motion is that we suspend relevant rules to enable him move the motion now. Honorable Gray.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, my distinguished honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Adi Gray. I stand second the motion be taken now, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Ezema, please move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, Honorable Ezema Onyewuchi, Owerri Federal Constituency of Imo State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my motion is on the need to celebrate the Nigerian Labour Congress at 40. The House notes that today marks the 40th anniversary of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, as the umbrella union of the nation's working class. Also notes that this celebration is a reflection of the labour movement struggles, trials, successes, triumphs over the past 4 decades. Aware that though opinion remains divided as to what NLC has achieved in the last 40 years, one must agree that the NLC has been a rallying point for the oppressed Nigerian workers, worried that the NLC has faced and still faces insurmountable challenges which have dampened its effort to protect, defend, promote the rights and well-being of the Nigerian workers, pensioners, and trade unions. Also worried that NLC has on numerous occasions stated that the resolve of the average Nigerian worker is being tested by the inability of government at all levels and the private sector to address issues of workers' welfare, unemployment, underemployment, minimum wage, casualization, pension, promotion, provision of occupational safety in workplaces, among others. Concerned that Nigeria will continue to regress if government does nothing to address the concerns raised by NLC and other labor movement and stakeholders. Resolve, all this honorable house to congratulate and celebrate the Nigerian Labour Congress as it marks its 40th anniversary today and celebrate its years of struggle, commitment, perseverance as organized labor. Urge the House to identify with the various labor issues and challenges raised by the NLC and other relevant stakeholders with a view to ameliorating the plight of the Nigerian workers. I so move.
Seconder. Honorable Fred Abedi.
Thank you, my right honorable speaker, honorable colleagues. Agbedi Yetiemne Frederick is my name. I represent Sagbama Ikerimo Federal Constituency. Zonkeme, I am from Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise to second the motion as assembly moved. I so second.
Honorable Ezema, please lead the debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Mr. Speaker, indeed, I think the Nigerian Labour Congress deserves the commendation and congratulations of this honorable house. Mr. Speaker, the trajectory of what we have today as the Labour Congress dates back to 1950, when 4 trade unions came together to form the Labour Center. That can be seen to be the origin of the struggle and the formation of the Nigerian Labour Congress. This did not last. There was a second attempt also in 1975 to form an umbrella union. This also did not happen, but what we have today as NLC took off in 1978. And for 40 years, Mr. Speaker, there has been direct conflict between NLC and government in order to protect the rights of the Nigerian workers and also ensure their welfare. Mr. Speaker, it has not been easy for the struggle. It has not been easy for the Nigerian Labour Congress. As we say, the struggle continues. We passed through very excruciating times under the military, and we recall, Mr. Speaker, that in 1988, the former military junta, General Ibrahim Babangida, dissolved the NLC. And this happened for a period of 10 months. And this dampened the resolve of the struggle. Mr. Speaker, again, in 1994, General Sani Abacha also dissolved the Nigerian Labour Congress and in its place appointed a sole administrator, and this was for 4 years. Mr. Speaker, it has not been easy for this struggle. We can say clearly that anything achieved and everything achieved by this struggle was achieved by the sweat and blood of those we refer to today as veterans of the labor. Mr. Speaker, it may not be Uhuru for the struggle. It may not be Eldarodo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleague, my name is Yakubu Umar Birthday. I represent Kaduna Federal Constituency. I'm from Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, I come under 8 reform to bring a matter that is of urgent public importance. And this has to do with the wanton destruction of properties and killing in my constituency, particularly Kaduna, and also the killing of people by cattle rustlers. Yes, Mr. Speaker, I pray that this matter should be taken as a matter of public urgent importance, and also we suspend our relevant rules so that the motion can be taken down. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, this is a leadership motion. Deputy Minority Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Binte Bello, representing Katungo Shongo. I rise to second the first leg of the prayer of the motion that the matter be taken as matter of urgent importance. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Second motion is that we suspend our rules to enable him move the motion now. Any seconder? Honorable Ossi, Prestige.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Prestige Ossi, member representing the industrial and commercial oriented people of Aba North, Abasa Federal Constituency from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second this motion, heavily moved by the minority whip, that this matter is important and I should suspend our rules in order to take it. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Minority Whip, you can now move your motion.
Killings and wanton destruction of lives and property in Kaswama Gani in Kajuru local government and Katu Rosli in Chukun local government area of Kaduna State. The House notes that there was a crisis in Kaswama Gani, a community in Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State, on the night of Sunday, the 25th of February 2018, which spilled over to Monday morning, the 26th of February. Further notes that the crisis was as a result of a change of religious belief by some people, thereby prompting some errant youths to embark on killings and destruction of properties in the community. Also note that the effort of the state governor, His Excellency Madam Nasir El-Rufai, for his quick intervention by deploying security personnel to the area to bring the situation under control and directing the state emergency management agency, SEMA, to come to the aid of the victim and ordering the arrest of the culprits. Worried that as a result of this crisis, over 20 people have lost their lives and property worth millions of naira destroyed, with many families rendered homeless. Further worried at the rate at which lives and property of our citizens are being destroyed at the slightest provocation and absolute disregard and value for human life. Just that same night, on Sunday, in Dagbache village and Gazamari village in Chukun local government, one Mr. Mami and Dauda Ayuba lost their lives in an attempt to go after cattle rustlers. who invaded their villages. Resolved to mandate the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to quickly move to these communities with relief materials in order to alleviate the sufferings of the people that are rendered homeless and the families that have lost their loved ones. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Seconder to the motion. Honorable Chinda. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, Kingsley Chinda, I rise to second the motion as very ably moved. I so second. Minority will please move the motion. Oh, okay, lead the debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, for allowing me to take this very important motion that I feel is very important because it has to do with destruction of lives and loss of property. Mr. Speaker, on the 25th of February, that's particularly on Sunday, there was a little problem where somebody changed her religion. And in doing so, the other brothers of the lady that changed her religion felt that they would not allow their sister or their daughter to change religion. So they invaded the house of the man she went to stay with. And in the course of doing that, some other youths from the other opposite religion also felt that this lady has her right to change her religion. And in that point, there was crisis and they started fighting each other. And escalated to the burning of houses up to the extent that nearly 20 people were killed. Mr. Speaker, it is on sad notes, as I speak to you, the crisis has even escalated to another village called Kalla in the same local government. And this happened just yesterday because a corpse was found in Kaswamagini and it was now moved to the village where that dead body belonged to. And when the youth saw the dead body, they also rise up and were attacking the other Hausa and Fulani people that live in their villages. So, Mr. Speaker, it is very sad. And I really want to say the governor of our state did really try because within like an hour of the happening, the security agencies had moved into the place. And as I speak to you, there is a curfew in that village now. Now, this happened in Kajuru local government. Now coming to the second local government which I represent here, which is in Chukun local government, there were some cattle rustlers who went to steal cattle of some Bagi people in a village called Dagbachi. And they carted away with many cattle. In the struggle for them to steal this cattle, they shot one man by name Mr. Mami. And they also killed one Mr. Ayuba Dauda. And these people are breadwinners of their family. And you can imagine what will happen to the children and even the wives of these people that were killed. So I want to beg my colleagues that this matter is very sad. And I'm standing here with a very heavy heart because those that were killed are people that are my friends, they are my colleagues. I used to go to them, we campaign. And it's very unfortunate that in this country today, when at the slightest provocation, people will take laws into their hands. I think if we continue this way, one day we may not have this country called Nigeria. We have to really bury our differences in terms of religion, in terms of tribes, and make sure that God has a purpose for making us to live in one place. So I want to plead with my colleague that the prayer is just simple. Many people, as I speak to you, are living in primary schools because they are afraid of going back to their homes in case there's an attack in the night. So, Mr. Speaker, I plead with the House that we resolve that the National Emergency Management Agency should come to the aid of these people so that it will alleviate their suffering. But like I said, it's not alleviating their suffering because somebody whose house has been burnt, you can't go and build the house for him overnight. Or even if they go to stay in their friends or family's house, they are not going to get the suko or the comfort that they will get when they are living in their houses. Mr. Speaker, I plead with my colleague that this motion should be given its easy passage as I prayed. Thank you, sir.
Any contributor? So I put the question. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. We move to, okay. Honorable members, the first business of the day is a motion to admit into the chamber on Thursday, 1st March 2018 at 11 a.m. the Honorable Minister of Mines and Steel Development, the Honorable Minister of Finance, their entourage, two experts on steel development for the purpose of sectoral debate on steel sector development in Nigeria. Standing in the name of the House Leader, the Leader is now invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to move that the House, pursuant to Order 16, Rule 3 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives, do admit into the chambers on Thursday, 1st March 2018 at 11 a.m. the Honorable Minister of Mines and Steel Development, the Honorable Minister of Finance, the entourage, and other experts on steel development for the purpose of sectoral debate on steel section development in Nigeria. Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I so move.
Permanent Acting Leader, Honorable MT.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Munguno. I represent Martin Muguno, Ganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. I hereby move the motion as ably moved by the House Leader. I so move. Second.
In favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable members, the second business of the day is presentation of 5 bills, and I invite the clerk to read the short titles.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, Fiscal Responsibility Act, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2018, first reading. Nigerian Building and Road Research Institute Bill 2018, first reading. National Institute of Construction Technology and Management Establishment Bill 2018, first reading. National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control Act Amendment Bill 2018, first reading. Chartered Institute of Directors of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2018, first reading.
Honorable members, the third business of the day's presentation report of Committee on Special Duties on a bill for an act to establish the National Boundary Task Force for the protection of persons and prevention of communal clashes and other criminal acts, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Nasir Rusani Zangwandaura. Honorable members who recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Thursday, 2nd June 2016. Report is ready for presentation. Honorable Nasiru is now invited to present it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Nasir Sani Zangandora. I represent Zango Ore Federal Constituency. I'm from Katsina State. I move that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Special Duties on a bill for an act to establish the National Boundary Task Force for the protection of persons and prevention of communal clashes and other criminal acts and for related matters. I so move.
Second, Honorable Killer.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Yubud Hassan Kila. I represent Baram Federal Constituency. Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am from Jigawa State. I rise to second that the report be presented as so second. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Nasru, please proceed and lay the report. First order of the day, honorable colleagues, is the third reading of a bill for an act to amend the National Broadcasting Commission Act, Chapter N11, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for competition in Nigeria to promote efficiency and expand opportunities for Nigerians' participation in the world markets, while at the same time recognizing the role of foreign competition in Nigeria for related matters. Honorable members who recall the House adopted report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Wednesday, 22nd February 2018. Therefore, call on the Leader of the House to move the bill be now read third time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to move that a bill for an act to amend the National Broadcasting Commission Act, Cap N11, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for competition in Nigeria, to promote efficiency and expand opportunities for Nigeria's participation in the world market, while at the same time recognizing the role of foreign competition in Nigeria, and for related matters, HB 168, read a third time. I so move.
Seconder. Empty.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Martin Manganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. I hereby second the motion as ably moved by the House Leader. I so second.
Those in honorable colleagues, the question is the bill be now read the third time. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill. I hope those saying nay, they know that they are wasting their time when it comes to third reading of a bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the National Broadcasting Commission Act, Chapter N11, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to provide for competition in Nigeria, to promote efficiency and expand opportunities for Nigeria's participation in the world markets, while at the same time recognizing the role of foreign competition in Nigeria and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read the third time and passed. Second order of the day, honorable colleagues, the third reading of the bill for an act to amend the Immigration Act 2015 to make further provisions to restrict and regulate the issuance of work permit to foreign nationals and for related matters. Honorable members recall the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Wednesday, 21st February 2018. Therefore, call on the Leader of the House to move the bill be now read the third time.
Thank you once again, Mr. Speaker. I rise to move that a bill for an act to amend the Immigration Act 2015 to make further provisions to restrict and regulate the issuance of work permit to foreign nationals and for related matters HB 480 be read a third time. I so move.
Acting Leader.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Martin Manganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. I hereby second the motion as ably moved by the House Leader. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk is now invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Immigration Act 2015 to make further provisions to restrict and regulate the issuance of work permit to foreign nationals and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read the third time and passed. Third order of the day, honorable colleagues, the third reading of a bill for an act to establish a Chartered Institute of Entrepreneurs to regulate and control the practice of entrepreneurship and for related matters. Honorable members who recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Wednesday, 21st February 2018. Therefore, call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be now read the third time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. rise to move that a bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Entrepreneurs to regulate and control the practice of entrepreneurship and for related matters, HB 1239, read a third time.
Permanent acting leader, as we then was.
Yes, sir. As I am sure that since the House leader is around. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Mogono. I represent Martin Mogono, Ganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. I hereby second the motion as ably moved by the House leader.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it. And I invite the clerk to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Entrepreneurs to regulate and control the practice of entrepreneurship and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read the third time and passed. Fourth order of the day, honorable colleagues, commencement of debate on the general principles of bill for an act to regulate the profession of forestry, provide for an institute to be charged with responsibility for the registration, regulation, and disciplining of members of the profession, and to establish council that may invest monies into any security created or issued by or on behalf of the government of the Federation and any other sector in Nigeria approved by the council for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Adeyinka Ajayi, Honorable Mojid Alabi. Honorable members will recall that the bills were consolidated on Tuesday, 3rd October 2017. I now invite Honorable Ajayi to move that the bill be now read the second time. This is a motion back in Osun State.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My respected colleagues, I move that a bill for an act to regulate the profession of forestry, to provide for an institute to be charged with responsibility for the registration, regulation, and discipline of members of the profession, and to establish a council that may invest money into any security created or issued by or on behalf of the government of the Federation or any other security in Nigeria approved by the council for other related matters. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, Professor Mojit, please second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and Professor Mojid Alabi, representing the North, the South, the Bedore, and the Divo Federal Constituency. I beg to second the motion as moved by my learned brother, Yinka Ajayi. I so move.
Honorable Yinka, please lead the debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, this bill, Mr. Speaker, seeks to establish
Order, Honorable Madaki.
an institute to be known and referred to as the Chartered Institute of the Nigerian Institute of Chartered Foresters. Mr. Speaker, the intention of this bill is to provide adequate data collection, registration, training of practitioners, and the proper regulation of the forestry sector in Nigeria. The intention is to bring our forestry practice in line with global best practices and standards. Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, 80%
Honorable Garba Chedi. Order, Honorable Madaki.
80% of all Earth's land animals and plants live in forests. And indiscriminate forestry practices and activities will no doubt destroy the habitats of these millions of animals and plants and species with consequent effects on human life and health. Mr. Speaker, the statistics by Green World Fund, a global environmental non-governmental organization, puts the percentage of degradation in the environment due to forestry indiscriminate practices at 15%, while the combined effect of the emissions of carbon monoxide from our vehicles worldwide is put at 14%, which means that indiscriminate forest practices causes more havoc to our environment than we get from carbon monoxide emissions from our vehicles. Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, therefore, this bill just seeks to establish an institute that would regulate the practice of forestry to ensure that our forests are better protected, our forests are better managed for the benefit of mankind. It is also said that the forestry practice, if properly regulated, will create jobs, more jobs for our
Honorable
youth
Yunus Abubakar.
in the practice of forestry. The sort of jobs that can be created from best forestry practice includes urban foresters, rural foresters, forestry engineers, and so on and so forth, forestry guards. These are jobs that can help contribute to the gross domestic product of our country. This bill does not seek to reinvent the wheel. The bill just simply seeks to establish a regulated and controlled manner to manage our forestry, just like it is done in other climes. And on this note, Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, I commend this bill to all of us to support this initiative to create this institute that would regulate the forestry practices in Nigeria. I so move, my respected colleagues, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Mojit, your own argument, leg of argument.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Professor Majid Alabi, representing the North and the South, Egbedore, and Ejiko Federal Constituency, and I'm from Osun. My learned brother has brilliantly stated the justification for the motion. I only want to add 3 key areas that we need to pay attention to. Nigeria has a land mass of over 923 square kilometers with over 160 million population. Unfortunately, while our population continues to increase, the available forest resources is decreasing. For example, by 1900, 0.01% of Nigerian land mass is available for cultivation. There was a remarkable increase in 1970 to about 10%. But today, my colleagues, the available forest in Nigeria has dropped to an abysmal 5.04%. Whereas the United Nations, as well as the Food and Agricultural Organization, recommend that for sustainable development, each country must have at least 25% of its land mass as forest, which means Nigeria is far, far away from global recommended practice. I don't want to go into the causes that put us in this particular parlous state, because Honorable Ajayi has adequately covered that particular area. But I want to emphasize that the global community is not resting on its oars to tackle the problem of deforestation. The UN has its own agency. In Africa, we also have the African Forest Forum. Each of them to make sure that we do not lose our forests. But what we find in Africa, there is no single nation in Africa of today that has a very robust forest policy, because we are not paying attention to it. Must Nigeria go that way? No. As a leader in Africa, we are urging that Nigeria should take the lead in creating appropriate national policy response to the issue of deforestation, which has also engendered the issue of climate change and global warming. To that extent, if we set up the Chartered Institute of Foresters in Nigeria, it will assist the government to achieve its objectives in the following way. In the first instance, there will be opportunity to regulate our forest resources. Secondly, government and other relevant actors will no longer patronize quads. Thirdly, the various universities and other institutions taking courses in forestry will be more properly regulated, so that we ensure that only people who are adequately certified are engaged in the practice of forestry. Lastly, colleagues, if we are able to do that, the phenomenon of global warming, which is threatening all of us, the phenomenon of climate change, which is threatening all of us, will be reduced significantly. And to that extent, my colleagues, I want to urge you to allow that this professional body to certify those who will practice forest material goes from the second reading, so that this house will be seen as a house that is alive to its responsibility in seeing the future, so that we prevent avoidable damages to our forests and environment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you,
Other honorable colleagues.
Any more contributors to the debate? If there's none, then I'll put question. The question is the bill be now read the second time. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk is now invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to regulate the profession of forestry, provide for an institute to be charged with the responsibility for registration, regulation, and discipline of members of the profession, and to establish a council that may invest monies into any security created or issued by or on behalf of the government of the Federation, or in any other security in Nigeria approved by the Council, and for related matters. Second reading.
The bill is referred to committees on commerce and justice. Fifth order of the day, honorable colleagues, commencement of debate on the general principles of bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian National Heroes Register Act, Chapter N 121, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Nigerian National Heroes Bill to provide for the recognition of heroes, re-establish the Nigerian Heroes Register and criteria for the identification, categories, selection, and honoring of national heroes, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable
colleagues, Honorable Yunus Abubakar
Amuda Kanikeji. Honorable members will recall the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 21st March 2017. I now invite Honorable Kanike to move the bill be now read second time.
Thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker, my colleagues. I'm Dr. Amada Konike Abubakar. I represent Ilorin East, Ilorin South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, colleagues, I'm from Kwara State. I hereby move that the bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian National Heroes Register Act, Cap N121 LFN 2004, and enact the Nigerian National Heroes Act to provide for the recognition of heroes, re-establish the Nigerian Heroes Register, and criteria for the identification, categories, selection, and honoring of national heroes, and other matters related thereto, be read the second time.
Honorable Zakari Mohammed, order.
Second, Honorable Adiogu.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. Albert Abiodun Adiogu is my name, representing the people of Ife Central, East, South and North of Ife Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from the source, Osun State. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to second the motion that House Bill number 954 be read second time. I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Ali Issa Jesse, Honorable Tokpe, please locate your seat. Who is the honorable member bending down?
Honorable Salame.
Please find your seat.
Honorable Soba.
Honorable Rotimi and Zakari, we are waiting for you. Honorable Abiente.
Honorable Soba, please go back to your seat.
Honorable Kanike, please, can you now lead the debate?
Thank you, the Right Honorable Speaker. My colleagues, in our national anthem, we profess daily that the labors of our heroes past shall never be in vain. If we really mean what we say about their labor not being in vain, we must pay proper attention to making sure that our heroes are properly recognized and, we bring them into our books of eternity. And for those that are living, we have to make sure that they have privileges that will be a sort of incentive for other people to aspire to be heroes. Privileges not only for them, but for their direct wards and dependents. Heroes set the limit of our aspirations. They are role models for all of us. They are whom we want to be, and they have surpassed where we would want to get to. So we must have proper, structure and proper legislation and law on how heroes are identified and how they are recognized and how they are complemented. In this country, that was recognized years back. The country enacted the Nigerian National Heroes Register Act in August 1979. And in the schedule of that, they listed some people both living and dead. And in the schedule of that extant law, they listed Nigerian national heroes as Mr. Alvan Ikoku, Alhaji Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Mr. Abbott Macaulay, and General Muritala Ramat Mohammed. May their souls rest in peace. There is no controversy about the heroism and the heroic status of the people so named in our extant law. But the question is, we must move this. The need to repeal that law is because we cannot just celebrate our heroes by just creating a register. And this register this law did not talk about how we go into the process of identifying heroes. So we needed to repeal the extant law and come up with a more robust legislation that would define who a hero is, and at the same time talk about how heroes are identified and talk about the process
of identifying heroes and even make it a subject of confirmation or objection with the public. So the public should also have an opportunity to put their input in identifying and agreeing to people who are so named. He also cautions that people in the legislature, in the executive and in the judiciary that are currently serving will not have the opportunity of being named as heroes. But that can only happen 5 years post-retirement from service.
Honorable Soba, please go back to your seat.
This is a very robust law, and he has 18 clauses, and I'll read and define what each of the clauses identifies. Clause 1 specifies the objective of the bill. Clause 2 addresses the designation of heroes. Clause 3 deals with the values and principles of heroes. Clause 4 highlights call for nomination and selection. Clause 5 involves procedure for nomination. Clause 6 mentions public consultation. Clause 7 deals with the eligibility and certain restriction on persons in government, like I earlier highlighted. Clause 8 addresses investiture. Clause 9 deals with the Nigerian National Heroes Register. Clause 10 involves the register and power to inscribe therein names of the first national heroes. Clause 11 deals with the power to direct registration. Clause 12 is on the chief registrar. Clause 13 deals with the forms of recognition and honor of national
Honorable Ali Umar Daki, please go back to your seat.
Withdrawal of heroes. Clause 15 deals with the regulations. Clause 16 is on the repeal on the current act on register. And clause 17 is the interpretation. Of course, clause 18 is the short title. In the recognition of importance of heroes in our society, whether no matter what sphere of life they belong to, and whether they are living or dead, we must continue to identify heroes and celebrate them. Somebody who is identified as the hero must have been very patriotic, must have contributed to national unity, he must have probably dealt with the issues of devolution of power, the rule of law, democracy, and participation of the people. Distinguished colleagues, Scott Lapache.
Honorable Ahmed Babaketa, please go back to your seat.
With the Santa Clara University in California, once opined that we need heroes because they define the limits of our aspirations. Heroes are often capable of leading others, and they resolve problems that confront society. And importantly, they also tend to be risk takers. National heroes does give people hope, provide examples for success. It is in view of this important designation of heroes that I call on my colleagues to please support so that this robust legislation in identifying who a national hero is and celebrating such heroes, whether
Honorable Aminu Mani, please go back to your seat.
Appropriate recognition as state functions and complementing them with some perks of appreciation so that we can continue to aspire to be heroes and we can continue to be patriotic Nigerians and move our nation forward. Colleagues, I join you to please support the second reading of this bill so that we can celebrate truly the labors of our heroes past. Thank you, my colleagues.
Any contributor to the debate? Honorable Pacho.
Honorable Nasiru Zongondaura, please go back to your seat.
Honorable Abonta, what lectures are you delivering there, please? Honorable Darlington, can you go back to your seat,
please go back to your seat.
Honorable, when you remove your red cap, we can take your motion seriously. Honorable Pajok.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Mr. Speaker, my name is Edward Pajok. I represent the South, the East. Mr. Speaker, may I contribute to this very important bill? Mr. Speaker, this bill is distinct from the national honors list that we have, because some people may confuse the National Heroes Act with the honorees that the country has, where some people are awarded CFR, GCFR, GCON, OFR, and all that. those ones are at the discretion of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But Mr. Speaker, this is an old law that says we should have a national register. And in this old law, like my colleague read out, only 4 Nigerians have been found worthy to be included in that national register. That is Tafawa Balewa, Murtala Mohammed, Alban Ikoku, and one other. But Mr. Speaker, in supporting this bill, some of the issues or the highlights of the bill need to be mentioned here. Because Section 3 of the Principal Act now says no citizen of Nigeria
Salame, please go
shall
back
be
to your seat.
nominated for consideration as a national hero unless the following conditions are satisfied. That is to say, 1, he shall have rendered continuous service of a public nature, whether or not in the public service of the Federation for a continuous period of not less than 10 years. That's 1. 2, he shall have been a person of undoubted integrity. 3, he shall have achieved distinction in the chosen profession, calling, or any other field of human endeavor whatsoever. And 4, if alive, he shall not have been less than 50 years. And if dead, he shall not have been born before 1st January 1914. Mr. Speaker, this is a principal act. So if someone dies and we feel that he should be accorded the status of a hero, but then he died before but then he died after 1914, by this legislation, he's not qualified to enter our national register of heroes. Mr. Speaker, and some other features of the Principal Act, I think this necessitates the Principal Act to be amended as of now. And Mr. Speaker, talking about national heroes, like you mentioned, the labor of our heroes past shall not be in vain. I think time has come that we should expand the national heroes in Nigeria. How come the Nnamdi Azikiwes, the Ahmadu Bellos, the Awolowos are not on our national register? We think they have done so much to merit being written down in our national register. So I think that if we support this bill, that will now lay the foundation for that to be done. Again, Mr. Speaker, another highlight of the present act is that anyone who is presently serving in government is unworthy or not qualified to be made a national hero. And I think that is okay. For instance, if you are an executive,
please go back to your seat.
Until you would have left office before you be qualified to be a national hero. That is different from the national honors that we do give. So I think that this bill should pass for second reading so that we now look at critically how we should define our national heroes. And it will encourage people to put in their very best in whatever they're doing so that they will be qualified to become national heroes. May I add that even the families or wards of those who are categorized as national heroes ought to be recognized in Nigeria or even be compensated so that at least the labors of the heroes past should not be in vain. But as it is today in Nigeria, there are wards of some of the national heroes who are living in misery, who are living in penury. Let it not be said that society is an uncaring.
Professor Mojib,
let us please
go back to your seat.
Remember those who have labored to make Nigeria what it is today. So it is a very, very important bill. And finally, Mr. Speaker, let me re-emphasize, it is distinct from the honors list that we have in the country. As a matter of fact, the SGF, by this law, is the chief registrar of the custodian of the national register. But today, this gathering does somewhere, probably because we have forgotten, because since 1979, no one has been fit to add to the list of national heroes. Therefore, what candidate has done is like a wake-up call, so that we begin to add to that list, and the list, the conditions should be very, very stringent and also transparent, so that the issue of cronyism should not be allowed to creep in to to now belabor this very important law. Mr. Speaker, all honorable colleagues, please support this bill in our national interest. Thank you, honorable colleagues.
Honorable Ayo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Ayo Omidiro, member representing the people of Ayeda Ade, Irewole, Ishoko Federal Constituency. I'm from the state of Osun. I rise to support this amendment for so many reasons, many of those already mentioned by the earlier speaker. I just want to ask my colleagues, what are we without our heroes? Who are our children going to look up to? Who do they want to emulate? Who are the people that even the rest of us would want to show as the people that we aspire to emulate? Heroes are those people, special people, that have one thing in common. They are people who do not live for themselves alone. They live for others. They are brave people who will rather die for their fellow human being to suffer. And if
Honorable
we do
Ahmed
not,
Babakaita.
if we do
Ahmed
not,
Babakaita.
please, new whip, take it easy. If we do not take these amendments now and ensure that the process of, we already have these heroes, some of them have been mentioned, and up till now, I was wondering, if anybody asked me who our heroes are, those are the names that will readily come into mind. And the way we are now in this country, this is a country in dire need of heroes. And we have those that we cannot even call such. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, let us make the amendments and appreciate those that we know are heroes and name them as such, so that other people will also want to become heroes of this country, Nigeria. It's going to make us a better people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. With your kind permission, may I speak from one of the last seat? Aminu Shehu Shagari, I represent Yabo Shagari constituency in Sokoto State. I would want to lend my support to this very important bill, which seeks to repeal and reenact the Nigerian National Heroes Register Act, laws of Federation of Nigeria, and to enact the Nigerian National Heroes Bill to provide for recognition of heroes and establish the Nigerian Heroes Register. This laws being the law that is seeks to repeal was enacted in 1979, and as already pointed out, it has only 4 people as recognized as heroes in Nigeria. Who are heroes? Heroes have been defined as people who put themselves in harm's way or risk their lives so that others can have theirs or have a better way of life. Or also those people who deprive themselves of the good things of life so that others can have a better life. Well, we need such people to be as role models for our teeming youth, and also to encourage others to follow suit in what they have done. It is not only those that have given their lives in this endeavor. It is also people that have, for instance, supplied people with the essentials of life. I remember a person, a businessman in Kano, who has never had, he doesn't have a child, and he's a very wealthy man. And everybody knows this man in Kano that he has been giving water to people of Kano for more than 30 years. It's PNL or something. Sorry? Yes, he's called PNL. You see blue trucks with PNL on it. Every day these trucks are going around giving people water. These are people that should be recognized not only by Nigeria but also by CNN. I know that CNN they have their heroes. I see people, nominated people, maybe they have been, I saw a person that was making dolls or teddy bears to give to cancer patients for free. And he was nominated as a hero. If such a person can be nominated as a hero, I don't see why we cannot recognize such people in our societies and give them recognition so that they are encouraged and others are encouraged to follow suit. So this is a very beautiful bill. I support it wholeheartedly, and I urge my colleagues to please support the bill. Thank you very much, sir.
Honorable Osai.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. Having listened on the submission of the past speakers, I wholeheartedly agree with their submission, and also says that those who are heroes are those that change the course of history positively of a nation. Now, since 1960, has our nation been changed positively? Those are questions that agitate the mind. This bill tends to add value to agitate the minds of the generation coming before us, to add value positively to the course of history that Nigerian nations will become in future. It's on that ground that I leave my support to this bill. I have seen the highlight of the bill as proposed by the proposer. Patriotism, agreed. People who crave for the unity of the country. People who change the course of history. Today our nation is bedeviled with a lot of vices. Generation must come out to change the course positively of Nigeria. And making sure that this bill comes to tune with the current reality will inspire them. I remember what President Barack Obama said when he visited the North Island. He said that the children born today are those that have been bequeathed with the cause of changing the Northern Ireland positively. And I believe that our children are listening to us, that we're inspiring them through the course of legislation to make sure that they will receive that honor for being a hero in our country. And we look forward to one rising from the south, one rising from the north, who will change the course positively of Nigeria. But today, we are talking about Boko Haram, that in future, our children will devise a means to halt these issues. Our children will devise a means to bring about the unity of our country, not disunity. Our children will see the course of history to change and Nigeria will become great. That's what this bill is inspiring the coming generation to do. Mr. Speaker, on this ground, I rest my case.
Any more contribution? So I'll put the question. And the question is that the bill be now read the second time. Committee of Environment only. Sixth order of the day, honorable colleagues, commencement of debate on the general principles of Bill for an Act to establish the Chartered Institute of Public Diplomacy and Management of Nigeria to provide for the control of its membership and to promote and foster the practice of public diplomacy and management in Nigeria and for related matters, standing the name of Honorable Etam Bora. Honorable members who recall the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 27 October 2017. I now invite Honorable Bora to move that the bill be now read a second time. Public diplomacy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My names are Honorable Eta Bora. I represent Calabar Municipal Federal Constituency from Cross River State. Speaker, I move that the bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Public Diplomacy and Management of Nigeria to provide for the control of its membership and to promote and foster the practice of public diplomacy and management in Nigeria and for related matters be read the second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Seconder. Honorable Jarikbe.
Honorable Speaker, my colleagues, I'm Honorable Jarikbe. I represent the good people of Ogoja-Yana Federal Constituency and from Cross River State. I rise to second the motion as moved by my colleague. I so second.
Honorable Etam Bora, please lead the debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Pat Asadu, please go back to your seat.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill was read the first time on Thursday, 27 of October 2016. And primarily, the bill seeks to establish a proper legal framework for this organization, the Institute of Public Diplomacy and Management.
Honorable Salisu Jibia, please go back to your seat.
This institute is an educational and professional institute for the professionalization and advancement of public diplomacy and public management practices in all sectors of the economy. The institute has been on ground for about 10 years now running, and it's been governed and supervised by the National Executive Council, and it's been approved by the Federal Ministry of Education that still supervises it, guaranteed by the Ministry of Justice, and it's been incorporated for all this while with a registered corporate affairs number. The Institute of Public Diplomacy and Administration advances best practices in public diplomacy and management of human resources and other stakeholders as well as public international relations by building capacity for managerial and leadership skills. The vehicle for doing this includes training, research, advocacy, publications, and other professional services. To this end, as a novel innovation, the Institute is programmed to join forces with public and private sectors in Nigeria and abroad. The executive are members of parliament and diplomatic community, parastatals and NGOs alike. The objective of this bill is to empower the Institute
Honorable Babangida
and clothe it with a legal framework to principally promote and foster the practice of public diplomacy and management, among others. Organize and conduct professional examinations, facilitate effective rapport between the practicing public diplomats and managers. The bill has 27 sections. Section 1 to 5 deals with the preliminary phase of the bill, comprising of establishment of their head office and branches across relevant states. Establish and maintain register of members. Section 6 reveals the objectives of the bill, which empowers the Institute to uphold and ensure observance of professional ethics, conducts, and tradition in the industry, accordance with the global best practices. Section 7 establishes the governing council of the Institute, composition, tenure, its charges, among others, of administration and general management of the Institute. Section 11 of this bill thus
also contained, among other things, what I've read. Then section 8 and 9 deals with the appointment of the register, functions attached there, which includes causing the registered members printed, published, and put on sales to all members of the public diagnosis. Section 10 deals with the registration of chartered diplomas whose requirements satisfies governing council. Section 13 and 14 deals with categories of members,
Honorable Halle Rujika.
vice presidents, respectively. Section 15 and 16 establishes the fund for the institute and bank account. The institute shall be self-funded, and funds shall be managed and controlled by the council. All institutional members in Nigeria shall pay into the fund an annual subvention and will be determined by the council from time to time. Monies may be payable to the institute in the course of its operations and in relation to the exercise of any of its functions under the Act. The council may also invest monies in the fund in any security created or issued by or on behalf of government federation. Section 7 on its part established the National Tribunal to handle cases referred to it. There is additional responsibility of discipline and recommending any sanctions it deems fit as provided in Section 18. Section 20 and others further empowers the council to make rules for training.
Honorable Gololo, please go back to your seat.
Describing the amount and date for payment of annual prescription and subscription. Section 21 makes provisions for standard well-equipped library. 22 ensures that all rules are published immediately for public knowledge. And Section 23 utilizes reckless and false statements with intention to secure registration with the institute. 24 transfers assets and liabilities by the incorporated institute from the announced commencement of this act when eventually passed. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I urge you and honorable members of this very honorable House that we have made very copious provisions for effective takeoff of this bill, and I urge that you please put a stamp of legal framework to enable this class of professionals achieve its objective, fulfill and contribute to the growth of our national economy by allowing the passage of the second reading of this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any contributor to the debate? No contributor. I'll put the question, and the question is the bill be now read second time. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Public Diplomacy and Management of Nigeria to provide for the control of its membership and to promote and foster the practice of public diplomacy and management in Nigeria and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to Committee on Commerce. Clerk, why is bill? So the bill is referred to Committee on Commerce. Servant to order of the day is a motion on discharge of Committee on Power on referral on the motion, constitutional breaches, impunity, and other infractions against the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, and the need to ensure probity and enforcement of statutory oversight functions pursuant to Order 17, Rule 3, Sub-Rule 1G of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives, standing in the name of Honorable E.Y. Okejev. Honorable Okejev is now invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Okejev, I represent the good people of Burugu. My dear colleagues, I'm from Benue State. This is a motion for the discharge of the Committee on Power on referral on the motion, constitutional breach, impunity and other infractions against the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, and the need to ensure probity and
enforcement of statutory oversight functions pursuant to Order 17-31G of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives. The House notes that the motion on the constitutional breaches, impunity and other infractions against the Niger Delta Power Holding Company and the need to ensure probity and enforcement of statutory oversight functions was debated on Thursday, 26 January 2017, and mandated the Committee on Power to conduct an investigative hearing involving all relevant stakeholders with a view to identifying any constitutional breaches and ascertain the veracity of reported infractions by the NDPHC and report to the House within 6 weeks for further legislative action. Aware that the matter has lingered in the committee for more than 1 year without any tangible progress. Also aware of the importance of the motion to overall development of the power sector in Nigeria, the House therefore resolves to discharge the Committee on Power on the referral and recommit the resolution to an ad hoc committee to be constituted by the House. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I so move.
Seconder. Okay, Honorable Gadaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I am Honorable Ismaila Ahmed Gadaka, member representing Fune Federal Constituency for Yobe State. I rise on the motion heavily moved by Honorable OKK. I so second.
Chairman rules and business, any need to debate it? Or should I just put the question?
Just put the question, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. It's a simple motion. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. 8th order of the day is a motion on urgent need to investigate the stagnation in the prices of some quoted stocks on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, standing in the name of Honorable Femi Fakaye. Honorable Fakaye is now invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Your Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Femi Fakaye. I represent Fedayo, Oduadua, United Federal Constituency from the state of Osun. I rise to move a motion about the urgent need to investigate the stagnation in the prices of some quoted stocks on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The House notes the declaration by the Honorable Minister of Finance on the performance of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, which she asserted to be the best in the world at the moment, based on the upward appreciation in the shares of some public limited companies listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Aware that investors who choose to invest money in buying shares of public quoted companies expose their money to the risks inherent in the operations of the given company and therefore reasonably expect to share in the profitability of such companies in two basic ways. Number one, through dividends per share as declared by the company, and number two, through the appreciation in the price of the company's stock from time to time. Also aware of media reports on the daily trading performance of some companies quoted on the stock exchange, indicating positive earnings and profitability profiles, but also listed on the exchange are many other non-performing stocks whose prices have remained pegged in one position, typically trading at par value over a long period of time, for 2 to 3 years in some cases. Concerned that this situation has the direct effect of shortchanging investors in the stocks of such companies, as such investors neither earn dividends nor have any growth in the quoted prices of their investments. Also concerned that if this trend continues unchecked, it could be a disincentive to the investing public, thus stifling the growth of the stock market. again aware of the fact that the stock market is regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and that both the Nigerian Stock Exchange and SEC have the responsibility of protecting the interests of the investing public in order to sustain the growth of the stock market. Further concerned that quoted companies in the insurance industries, the largest sector on the market, are the worst affected in this discouraging trend, made obvious by the fact that nearly all the 26 or so insurance companies quoted on the exchange have had their stock prices trading at 50 kobo par value for many years now. The House therefore resolves to mandate the committees on capital market and institutions and committee on insurance and actuarial matters to, number one, investigate the prolonged market dysfunction of some sectors of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Number two, review and confirm the pricing basis of the recent acquisitions of publicly quoted companies in the Nigerian insurance industry. Number three, liaise with the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Security and Exchange Commission, and the National Insurance Commission, NICOM, to take necessary steps to do investigation, including the need to involve new stock exchange listing requirements, and to report to the House within 8 weeks for further legislative action. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move.
Honorable Namobi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Very distinguished colleagues. My name is Uche Namobi, and I represent the good people of Bahado West and Oba Ebementon Federal Constituency. I'm from River State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion ably moved by Chief Fakaye. I so second.
Mr. Speaker. Oh.
I think it's been seconded, so you can lead the debate. Even though it's investigative, I'll allow you 2 minutes to lead the debate.
That's the long-standing situation of some companies that are listed on the stock exchange. I assume, safely so I think, that most of us here have investments on the exchange. And if we don't, we have people out there in the investing public that have invested their sweat on the stock exchange. When you buy a share of any company, you have the expectation to reap some rewards. Basically, you are rewarded in 2 ways. You are rewarded by earning some dividends, because by the time you put your money in company A or B, you are betting basically. You are insisting, you are deciding that yes, having studied information on the trend in the performance of the market, you think you will do well by them. So you are expecting to get dividends paid to you, and if things remain okay, you will also earn some price appreciation, that is increase in the value that you invested at the first instance. Over the past 3-4 years or beyond, the Nigerian Stock Exchange has been relatively inactive because of the FX situation in Nigeria. We went into recession, people could hardly feed, so many people did not even bother to buy new shares. About 10 years ago, you had many companies doing IPOs. They were coming out. Almost every month, we had 2 or 3 IPOs. People were investing their sweat at the prices quoted at that time. But now you have a lot of those prices eroded to the point where they are now 50 kobo or even less. There were shares you bought at 10 naira, 20 naira. Today, they've been at 50 kobo for about 3-4 years. We need to protect the investing public. Lately, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, especially in the past 1 year, there has been an improved inflow of foreign exchange, especially through the central bank's investors and exporters FX window, which saw foreign direct investment grow at 49% and foreign direct investment in portfolio at 128. In other words, over the past 1 year or so, there has been an upsurge in the FX inflow into Nigeria. However, between second quarter of 2016 and second quarter of 2017, as a result, investor appetite for equities, what I call effective demand, which is basically demand backed by money that you have in your pocket, for trading on the stock exchange increased by 24% between January and June last year. Now, because of the depreciation in the value of our currency, the Naira, the stock exchange is now considered one of the best and cheapest markets in the world, because by the time you bring your dollar here and you change at 360, 365, oh, you could buy a lot of stocks on the market. The CBN's policy of liberalizing access to FX, implemented by the Monetary Policy Committee in May 2016, saw imported capital jump 74.84% from 1.04 billion in second quarter 2016 to 1.82 billion in third quarter of 2016. Of this inflow, capital for foreign portfolio investment, which is what goes into the stock market, accounted for 85% of the increase in the overall capital inflow, which means that the balance of 50% went to foreign direct investment. You might say this is a very cool report, but here I want to draw the attention of this honorable house to the implication on the investing public in Nigeria. By the third quarter of 2017, foreign capital inflow had even risen further to 4 billion, which means more foreigners are now beginning to believe in our economy again. Prior to then, they had already sold out their shares and they went back. But now the money is being made again because they have forex, they are back. Mr. Speaker, let me define foreign direct investment as opposed to foreign portfolio investment. Foreign direct investment is where a guy brings foreign exchange to buy into a company that is on the market here. That is a company that is producing here. Maybe it's a bank, maybe it's producing whatever, but they have physical presence here. That is different. Whereas foreign portfolio investment is for people who are hedge fund managers, equity managers from wherever in the world. When things go bad, they are the first to sell out. And they'll take their money, they'll go out. Which is what they did about 3-4 years ago. Now, Nigerians has weathered the storm. The market is going back again because we have excess. And they're back. So you have, right now, a situation whereby people who are hedge fund managers, equity managers, they are back in the market with a lot of dollars to buy our shares. The upsurge in the inflow has had the effect of fueling increases in the prices of stocks quoted on exchange. This morning I circulated a sheet to demonstrate just what we have. I call it, I think members have this sheet. It is titled Sample Share Price Movement of Selected Quoted Companies on the Nigerian Stock Exchange between December 2016 and December 2017, just 1 year. I want to use this sheet and the information on there to illustrate how this latest upsurge in the market has affected some companies positively, but affected some negatively. For instance, if you go from items 1 to 13, you will see so many companies which in that 1 year made a lot of gain in the value of their stocks. You had companies making 158%, 71%, 20%. Then you have a lot of companies which in those years, in that time of growth, they remain flat. Honorable colleagues, on the stock exchange you have companies listed sector by sector. The insurance sector has the largest number of quoted companies. And those are the companies that have been trading at par value, 50 kobo, for the past 4 or 5 years. In other words, when you bought shares into them 8 years ago, 7 years ago, you pay premium money. they ask you to pay so much money at their own IPO, initial public offering, and you pay 8, 10 naira. But for the past 4 or 5 years, some of them, after the IPO, there was a bubble bust. And since then, some of them have remained pegged at 50 kobo. So look at items from, on that sheet, from item 20 all the way down. You will see companies listed on there. I don't want to mention the name because I know we're on air, but we are privy to this information, although the information is even public because you open the paper every day, you read it in the newspapers. But for the purpose of my presentation, members can now see the companies which in the 1 year when there was an upsurge, and I or you as an investor would be expecting to share in the increase, in the upsurge, the prices remained flat. Therefore, my prayers, Honorable Speaker, is to have an investigation into why some sectors have this dysfunction. That is prayer, number 1. And number 2 is to have a review and confirm the pricing basis, not to reverse what has been done, to ensure, however, that going forward, we want to make sure that Nigerians get very good value when foreigners come to buy their shares. And in doing so, prayer number 3 is that we called NSC, Stock Exchange, and the SEC, and ICOM, that preside over all these insurance companies to sit down together with us and tell us what is happening so we can avert any further erosion in the value of the stocks for Nigerians. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Lasun Yusuf. I represent Irepodun, Olorunda, Ondo, Osogbo Federal Constituency. I'm from the state of Osun. First, when you look at this motion, one might be tempted to think that it is restrictive in nature because of the prayer, specifically dovetailing into finding out why prices of quoted insurance companies have stagnated for a very long time. But Mr. Speaker, because I'm an entrepreneur and an investor, I have a lot of interest in what goes on in Nigerian Stock Exchange, although I don't buy shares. But let's start by laying the foundation. The stock exchange, as it's constituted today, is a limited liability company. A limited liability company that is shouldering that responsibility, like the removal of the motion posited, that is shouldering the responsibility of having money realized from sweat of others invested in that system, and that must be properly taken care of, but it's not being properly taken care of. My interest is this: for any economy that is aspiring to grow at all, the cheapest source of fund anywhere all over the world in the last almost 3 centuries is from the public markets, where you go for quotation and your company is quoted and you raise money from the public. One of the reasons why we've been finding it very difficult to raise large sum of money to do certain things in Nigeria is just because that market, as at now, is not fully developed. Not fully developed, people don't understand how it operates, and people have not come to have confidence in the market itself. And so recently there was a bill, I think it's a bill that we just passed, and we want to make the stock exchange a publicly quoted company. And if that bill is assented to, it will help Nigerian entrepreneurs to be able to go to market and be able to source for money. And the public too is protected when they invest their money in public quoted companies. But I listened to the removal of the motion, and I know that specifically the insurance companies
are not themselves open in their transactions. One of the very delicate company that one can talk about is this insurance sector of the economy, because we have had cases of people insuring their properties, and when things go bad, you find it difficult to even lay claim to anything at all. And so even because of that, the insider trading in insurance companies is always very high anywhere all over the world, because these are cases where even when you do your insurance themselves will go and invest their money in other places, because that is the only way they can get interest, and that is the only way you can get paid if anything goes wrong with what you have done. So, Mr. Speaker, I would want us to go by the prayers, but to pay more attention to our Nigerian Stock Exchange, because it is by paying attention to it that is when we begin to realize the fact that money that is meant to be invested in these large companies can only be found in the stock exchange, not in the Nigerian banks. Banks anywhere all over the world are never good for investors, because banks solely they want to trade and they want to make money. And whoever that is don't wants to make profit and make money, you cannot go to such people to take loans. And that's why it's been very difficult for us to get development through banks.
Mr. Speaker, the House notes that the creation of Abuja as the capital city of Nigeria arose
30%. They are not bothered, because their own problem is they are in for business and they want to make profit. But while we are doing that too, I want those who are going to be involved in this investigation to come up with far-reaching resolutions that will make Nigerians to begin to have confidence in the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and to make sure that the Nigerian Stock Exchange too itself become open, so that Nigerians can see what they do. We have not forgotten what happened in recent past, when a lot of people borrow money from banks to go and buy shares in stock exchange. 2-3 years after, almost like nearly 90% of those who invested during that period went into debt, because people collected bank loan to go and buy shares, and at the end of the day, after 2-3 years, those shares no longer what they're supposed to worth, just because of the inside trading. So, Mr. Speaker, this is a very good motion. I only want, eventually, when this one is going to be investigated, I only want those who are actually knowledgeable in that sector, so that whatever resolution they are able to put up will be very, very useful for Nigerian market. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Honorable Abonta.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Uzoma Nkim Abonta. Mr. Speaker, may I also thank the People of Revolution for giving fit to come at this time of our great economic situation to point out the ills that will be deviling and forcing us in the capital markets. Mr. Speaker, what the mover of this motion is more or less talking is they're talking about other people's money. Mr. Speaker, I'm able to say that there are legal permissible frauds worldwide. The President of the United States said during his campaign that I found the system and I exploited it. And it's the duty of the Parliament to avoid, to stop, to block such permissible frauds. For a company to be quoted as PLC and be trading for 5 years without declaring profit, then they should be delisted. The meaning remains that they trade on the floor of the house with other people's money, make all the money and declare nothing. Honorable colleagues, there's every need for us to find out why such companies are not progressing. If they are not progressing, then they should be deregistered. from the trading floor. Because it's an investigative motion asking for us to look at it, therefore we'll be miserly with our words. But I'm able to say that most of those companies, you will also say, I don't want to mention the name, but their names are bound. If you look at the book, registered companies, so PLC, they trade successfully in the floor every day at a stagnated price, declare no dividend, declare no profit, yet they're still at the floor of the house. It's either that those that appointed to regulate that market are not regulating properly, or the people are doing under declaration. Therefore, I want to support this motion that a thorough forensic investigation should be done with the view of ascertaining why those companies are stagnated. In fact, if possible, to find out what are the conditions for you to be registered and what are the conditions for you to be delisted. It's like licensing a bank by CBN to operate. The moment that bank cannot pay demand deposit, that license should be withdrawn. If you allow that bank to keep operating, that means the regulators are also accomplices in the deceit of people. I therefore want to support this motion and say that in the past 3 years, the stagnation, the fraud, the irregularities in the capital market trading had assumed unalarming proportion. What is happening? We must do something, and this is the time to do it. I therefore support that this motion passes. And in fact, the report should come within 3 weeks, so we can do the needful. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Sadiq.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to contribute to the debate for this motion to be approved. And I want to say right away, Mr. Speaker, that I'm in support that the motion be adopted as read. Let me also thank Honorable Fake for bringing to fore a very, very important matter that Nigerians ought to know. The problem here, Mr. Speaker, and my honorable colleagues, is that there is no much information about the capital market in Nigeria, especially in the villages and perhaps even in towns. Let me ask a rhetorical question, Mr. Speaker. What is capital market? My answer is simply that capital market is like any market where you buy and sell. Therefore, the movement of prices of the commodity that is sold in the market is subject to the vagaries of demand and supply. Therefore, in the capital market where shares are bought and sold, the demand for the shares will determine the prices at which the shares will be sold, and therefore, whether or not a stock moves down or up, it depends on the buyers and the sellers that play in the market. Let me come down to the main issue, and that is the insurance subsector of the capital market. Today, Honorable Fake has given us a graphic report of what is happening. That the stock of insurance companies for 3 years has remained at par value. Par value means 50 kobo. In other words, today in the Nigerian stock exchange, you cannot sell any stock below 50 kobo. But because you cannot sell below 50 kobo, buyers are not attracted to the stock of insurance companies, and therefore the stock has remained where it is for 3 years. That is worrisome for any economy, because the stock exchange is one of the determining factors of showing whether the economy of a country is moving forward or not. Now, the Nigerian National Bureau of Statistics has recently given the figures that shows that our own economy is moving. But the 5 sectors that did not record any gain last year, fourth quarter 2017, is the insurance subsector, which confirms what Olufake said, that there is no such movement in the stock of insurance companies. But let me say, I'll give you this latest information. Let me say, honorable colleagues, and give you this latest information that the stock market has allowed.
Honorable Dawaki, Chairman Appropriation, please.
Honorable colleagues, I want to tell you that Nigeria Stock Exchange has allowed insurance companies to now sell their shares below 50 kobo. What this means is this, that today the stock exchange can sell the shares of insurance companies below 50 kobo, below the par value of 50 kobo that has been in existence for several years, and which accounted for the reason why there has not been any sale on the shares of stock exchange. And what is required of us as legislators, as representatives of the people, is to draw the attention of the secretary to make this information available to people, that today the shares of quoted insurance companies on the exchange is no more at par value. It can be sold as below as 1 naira, which means that people can swim or they can sink. This is a very dangerous trend for Nigerian society, because a lot of people, on hearing this information would try to offload their shares on the market, and there will be no buyers. That means the shares will further crash. Therefore, this motion brought by Olufake is very important, that we invite experts in this field to find out what is the reason why the insurance company, insurance stock, which was the largest driver of the stock exchange in Nigeria, has now been relegated to zero, if not negative growth in fourth quarter 2017. I am therefore in support of this motion, that it should be, Mr. Speaker, approved by all of us with, in the words of Honorable, with the speed of light. Thank you so much.
Honorable Kazim.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Kazim. I represent Abeokuta North, Obafemi Owodi, and Odeda. I'm from Ogun State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, first of all, I have to commend the mover of this motion. It's a motion that has come in at the right time, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, going through the trend produced by Honorable Fakeye, we could now see that the most affected industry are the insurance industry. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, indirectly, the insurance industry, as in all the companies, are sitting on investors' money that can be easily spent somewhere else that will boost the economy. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, this has to do with life as well. Because why do we invest in stock and shares? Only few of us invest in stock and shares because we want to speculate. Most of us invest in stock and shares because we want to make money. But that definition has been eradicated by the activities of the insurance company. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, we need to tighten up. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the SEC need to put their foot down and do more on this. If you look at the management staff of this insurance company, most of them are earning fat salaries. They are on fat income. They are on fat allowance. They go on foreign mission, foreign training and other things, while investors are suffering. Honorable colleagues, there is a solution to this. At a point in time, Mr. Speaker, we bought shares of Zenith Bank. This was like about 10 years ago. Zenith Bank and Oceanic. Oceanic was sold for 16 naira 50 kobo. and Zenith Bank 16 naira 60 kobo, 15 naira 60 kobo. Where's Zenith shares today? Zenith shares is trading between 30 naira and 28. The lowest of this year maybe 22. Where's Oceanic? Oceanic has gone down maybe to 20 kobo or 30 kobo if I'm right. And it was taken over by EcoBank. This is where I'm going, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. At a point in time, and investors will now show up. When the investors now show up, they want to buy this company. Indirectly, these investors coming. In a way, they are foreign investors. Some of them, most of them, they are reaping from where they did not sow, because they are buying these companies because they know the company is healthy. They are getting inside information. They know that it was purposely the companies are not paying dividends. There are other ways they could have done. If they needed money to do other things, they could have done a share split, like a 4-for-1, 5-for-2. They could have done that. And this insurance company, they are even supposed to be an underwriter for the banks to perform other duties. But these are the insurance companies that are not paying. I'm mentioning insurance company because these are the most affected industry. And it's not like they are performing any extraordinary activities. Some of the reasons why insurance company may not be able to pay dividends sometimes is if there's some unforeseen incident happen. Unforeseen incident like hurricane or something like that to do with weather or other things, which means they have to pay out compensation. But how long does it take to get a compensation in this country, Mr. Speaker? They are not paying that much compensation. Honorable colleagues, should we calculate how much we are paying insurance companies? Is it the 10,000 or the 5,000 naira we pay them? They give us a third-party insurance, which we call "Let My People Go." That "Let My People Go" is just for you to pass in during the checkpoint. That's what that is meant for. You can't claim on that. That 10,000 naira or 5,000 naira times how many millions have they collected from us? Mr. Speaker, SEC need to do more. The commission need to tighten up and investigate the insurance company and see what.
There's point of order on the floor. Honorable Kazim. It's point of order from Honorable Zakari.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Zakari Mohammed. I represent Barotinka, my federal constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kwara State. My point of order is order 902. And it reads thus: any member deviating from the provision of these rules of the Constitution may immediately be called to order by the Speaker or Chairman or any member. The rules of the debate are very clear, and it's like my honorable colleague is deviating from the main issue and wasting some legislative time. Mr. Speaker, I want you to call him to order so that we can make progress.
No, you can't say it's wasting legislative time. But the deviation, I don't know how he's deviating. So, Honorable Kazim, no more little to the left or little to the right. Just go straight.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, thank you very much for giving me the floor again. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, all I'm talking here is just going straight to the point. The Stock Exchange Commission need to tighten up. Just as has been said by previous speakers, we all know before a company is floated, they must have been vetted. So if they are vetted, why aren't they able to pay dividends? What is due to investors? Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm going to stop here just to make sure dividends are paid for investors. Thank you very much.
Chairman, Capital Markets.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I had wanted to appeal initially that we should not delve into much debate and allow the investigation to be carried out. Most of what I wanted to say has been said, Mr. Speaker, so I support this motion and an appeal that it should be allowed to go for investigation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So I'll put the question. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it. Ninth order of the day, honorable colleagues, a motion on need for completion of the gas turbine project in Ibama, Imo State, and other power plants in Niger Delta region. Standing in the name of Honorable Goodluck Nana Opia. Honorable Opia is now invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished honorable members, my name is Goodluck Opia. I come from Imo State. I represent Ohaji, Ebema, Oguta, and Oru West Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I have a motion on the need for the completion of the gas turbine project in Ebema, Imo State, and other power plants in the Niger Delta region. The House notes that as part of the National Integrated Power Program, the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, PLC, on behalf of the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, awarded a contract to Roxin Engineering to carry out engineering, procurement, and construction of a 378 megawatts turbine power station at Ibema, Imo State. Aware that out of the 10 power plants, gas supply lines, and several transmission and distribution projects initiated by the Niger Delta Power Company, 8 have been completed, namely a 451 megawatts capacity Ihobibo power plant built by Marubini Engineering West Africa Limited in Benin City, the 561 megawatts capacity Calabar power plant at Ekoreunion Power, also built by Semfem. Other completed projects include the 451 megawatt capacity power plant and Ugorode Saple in Delta State, the 434 megawatt capacity at Geregu Power Station in Ajukuta, Kogi State, built by Siemens Nigeria Limited, the 677 megawatt capacity Oloronsoko Power Plant in Ogun State, built by Septco Electrical Power Construction Corporation of China, the 451 megawatt capacity at Omotosho Power Plant built by China Machinery Engineering Corporation in Okitepa local government area of Ondo State, the 961 megawatt capacity at Aloji Power Station in Abia State, and the 225 megawatt capacity Baraya Ubi in Bayelsa State, also built by Roxin Engineering. Aware that the 2 power stations said to be completed by Roxin Engineering are the 378 megawatt capacity Ebema power plant in Ebema, in Ohaji Ebema local government area of Imo State, and the 225 megawatt capacity Omok 2 power plant in Ogba Ebema Ndoni local government area of Rivers State. The House is concerned that
Order, honorable colleagues, order.
The House is concerned that Roxin Engineering has failed to complete the 2 power plants several years after the award of contract has been and has demobilized from the site, citing paucity of funds as being responsible for the delay in completion of the project. Determined to ensure that the 2 outstanding power plants at Ebema, Imo State and Omok, River State are completed to support the federal government desire to solve the power problem in Nigeria. Therefore, resolves to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the circumstances surrounding the delay in the completion of Ebema Power Plant in Imo State and Omok Power Plant 2 in River State and report back within 6 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Nana.
Thank you, my amiable Speaker, honorable colleagues. Raphael Nana Ibokwe is my name, and I represent the wonderful people of Ayaz Vezinite, Mbise Federal Constituency of Imo State. Mr. Speaker, I have the pleasure to second with great joy the motion moved by Honorable Nana Opia. I so second.
Honorable Nana, 2 minutes. Not Honorable Nana, Honorable Opia. You are Nana too.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Nana, N-E-A-N-E-H. My friend and brother is in Nana. Mr. Speaker, this is a straightforward motion. It's a motion bordering on the gas turbine plants initiated by the federal government and sited across the Niger Delta region far back in 2006. Mr. Speaker, the two plants in question that are yet to be completed are the Ebema gas power plant and the Omoko gas plant, all belonging to Niger Delta Power Holdings. Mr. Speaker, these projects were awarded with a completion date for 2009. And as we speak, Mr. Speaker, these two power plants are yet to be completed. More worrisome, Mr. Speaker, is that even the contractor in question, the Roxon Engineering Company Limited, has completely moved out of sight in the two plants, making it almost obvious that the completion of those projects are nowhere to be in sight. The federal government and indeed Nigerians are desirous of having the power problem solved as soon as possible. And the idea behind the establishment of these power plants are to help in solving the problems of power in this country. It is my view, Mr. Speaker, that these two plants will contribute substantially in solving the Nigerian power plants. I therefore request that my colleagues, the Honorable House, will support this motion and ensure that it has immediate passage and a committee, an ad hoc committee set up to actually get to the root of the matter and find out the reason for the delay with a view to making sure that the contractor is mobilized, made to go back to site to complete this project within a possible short time. Mr. Speaker, that is the crux of the matter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So I'll put a question. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. 10th order of the day is a motion on the need to place the Fiscal Responsibility Commission on first line charge, standing the name of Honorable Chris Azubogo. Honorable Azubogo is now invited to move the motion.
The Right Honorable Speaker, my distinguished colleagues, my name is Honorable Chris Emeka Azubogo, representing Nnewi North, Nnewi South, and the Ebusigo Federal Constituency. I'm from Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I want to seek by the leave of the House, to step down this motion because it's already contained an amendment we are carrying out on the bill for FRA. That's all.
Honorable Chris, have you moved the motion? Why are you stepping it down? Okay. Item 10 on the other paper, stepped down by leave of the House. Consideration of reports. 11th order of the day is consideration of report of the Committee on Sports and a bill for an act to repeal the Nigeria Football Association Act Chapter N 1110 laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 and reenact the Nigeria Football Federation Act to provide for the administration of the game of football in Nigeria for related matters. Honorable members will recall the report was laid on Tuesday, 5th December 2017. Honorable Goni Bukar Lawal will move for its consideration.
Right Honorable Speaker Yakubu Dogara, my very respected colleagues, I am Right Honorable Goni Bukar Lawan, member representing Burusari, Gaidam Yunusari. I am from Yobe State. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise before you this afternoon, move that the House do consider the report of the Committee on Sports on a bill for an act to repeal Nigerian Football Federation Association Act, CAF 110, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and reenact the Nigerian Football Federation Bill to provide for the administration of the game of football in Nigeria and for the related matters, HB 587, and approve the recommendations therein. I so move, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable Ayo.
Congrats. Ayuba.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Ayo Omidiro, member representing the people of Ayeda Ade, Irewole, Isoko Federal Constituency, and from the state of Osun. I rise to second the motion that the bill be considered right away. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. 12th order of the day is consideration report of the Committee on Agricultural Production and Services Bill for an act to establish the Fisheries Institute of Nigeria charged with responsibility for registration and disciplining of members of the profession and for related matters. Honorable members will recall the report was laid on Thursday, 19 July 2017. Honorable M.T. Monguno will move for its consideration.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tar Monguno. I represent Marche Monguno, Ganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. I hereby move that the House do consider the report of the Committee on Agricultural Production and Services on a bill for an act to establish the Fisheries Institute of Nigeria, charged with the responsibility for registration and disciplining of members of the profession and for related matters, and approve the recommendations therein. I so move.
Seconder. Honorable Rias.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise to second. My name is Honorable Abdulkadir Rahis. I represent good people of Maiduguri Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion heavily moved by Honorable Mohamed Taib Monguno. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. The 13th order of the day is consideration of 3 reports of the Committee on Public Petitions. Honorable members will recall the reports were laid on Tuesday, 20th February 2018. Honorable Zoma Ikem Ubonta will move for the consideration of the reports.
Thank you.
Ubonta.
That the House to consider the report of public committee by Dr. Ahmed Issa on behalf of Samuel David and 8 others against the chairman, the Local Government Council of Niger State on the forceful demolition of houses belonging to the original inhabitants of the old Army Barracks, Niger State, and approved the content therein. 14th order of the day, Mr. Speaker, that the House do consider the report of the Committee on Public Petition on petition by Osita Nwankwo against the Chief of Army Staff on his wrongful retirement from service and approved the convention therein. And the 15th order, the last hearing, that the House do consider the petition of the Public Committee by Olumuyiwa Ogunlami and Co. on behalf of the Delfino Antonio Makande and 3 other family members against the federal government and the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos on the refusal of the federal government to pay compensation on their land acquired for the establishment of the University of Lagos, Akoka, Lagos State. Also joined the petition are the Attorney General of the Federation, the Secretary of the Federation, and the Federal Minister of Education are approved the convention therein. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Zephaniah.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Zephaniah Abidu Gisalo. I represent Abuja Municipal Bari Federal Constituency
I'm from FCT. I read the second motion as moved by the chairman public petition. Mr. Speaker, I second. Thank you. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Leader, see alarm dissolve into committee of the whole.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise to move that this House dissolve to the Committee of Whole for consideration of the reports. I so move.
Rules and business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion as ably moved. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. House hereby reverts to Committee of the Whole to consider the reports.
To the Committee on Sports for further legislative action. The objectives of the bill. The bill seeks to establish the Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) with the responsibility to organize the management, administration, and government of the sports footballs in Nigeria. Summary of the bills, Mr. Chairman, sir. The bills contain 8 parts. Part 1 establishes the NFF, while Part 2 establishes the NFF Congress and its function. Part 3 establishes the Executive Committee of the Federation and its function. Part 4 makes provisions with respect to the General Secretariat of the Federation. Part 5 regulates the operation of leagues and the league bodies. Part 6 regulates the international transfer of Nigerian players. Part 7 makes financial provisions. Part 8 deals with the miscellaneous matters such as the relationship between the Federation and the Federal Ministry of Sports and right of access in the performance of its duties. The records of anybody, club, members of the Federation or body, it is accompanied by schedule on supplementary provisions related to the Executive Committee. So, Mr. Chairman, sir, honorable colleagues, this is the little objectives of the bill I so submit for the consideration.
Thank you, Chairman. This bill has 47 clauses. We will now go ahead to begin the consideration of the clauses. Clause 1, Clause 2, Clause 3, Clause 4, Clause 5, Clause 6, Clause 7, Clause 8, Clause 9, Clause 10, Clause 11, Clause 12, Clause 13, Clause 14, Clause 15, Clause 16, Clause 17, clause 18, clause 19, clause 20, clause 21, clause 22, clause 23, clause 24, clause 25, clause 26, clause 27, clause 28, clause 29, clause 30, clause 31, clause 32, clause 33, clause 34, clause 35, clause 36, clause 37, clause 38, clause 39, clause 40. Clause 41, clause 42, clause 43, clause 44, clause 44 appears twice. Access to record, clause 44, then regulations, clause 44 again. So access to records will be clause 44. Regulation will be 45, so 45 now carried. The whole 45 now becomes 46 carried. The whole 46, which is interpretation, is now 47 carried. Citation, which is 47, is now 48 carried. Schedule of the bill, long title. Sorry, explanatory memorandum before then long title. The next report to be considered is that of the House Committee on the Agricultural Production and Services on a bill for an act to establish Fishery Institute of Nigeria charged with responsibility for registration and discipline of members of the profession and for related matters, House Bill 595. And I invite the Chairman House Committee on Agricultural Production and Services to speak to the report.
Honorable Chairman, honorable members, my name is Honorable Mohamed Tahir Munguno. I represent Marche Munguno Nganzai Federal Constituency of Borno State. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, this bill speaks for itself. It's very straightforward. As the name connotes, it essentially seeks to establish a fisheries institute that seeks to register as well as disciplinary members of the profession. Just seeks to regulate the profession of the fisheries discipline. That is essentially what this bill seeks to do. And in the process of regulating and registration of their members, it seeks to stamp out quackery. It seeks to bring the practice of the profession in conformity with international best practice, and that is essentially what this bill seeks to do. And it's self-financing, it has no financial implication to the government. So I urge my colleagues to support the consideration and subsequent approval of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. This bill has 26 clauses. We now go ahead to consider the clauses. Clause 1, Clause 2, Clause 3, Clause 4, Clause 5, Clause 6, Clause 7, Clause 8, Clause 9, Clause 10, Clause 11, Clause 12, Clause 13, Clause 14, Clause 15, Clause 16, Clause 17.
I'm reporting right from the Senate chamber of the National Assembly here in Nigeria. After the prayers,
Clause 21, Clause 22, Clause 23, Clause 24, First Schedule, Clause 25, sorry, Clause 26, First Schedule, Second Schedule, Explanatory Memorandum, long title of the bill. The next report to be considered is that of the House Committee on Public Petitions. On a petition by Ordinary Dr. Ahmed Hissa on behalf of Samuel David and 8 others against the chairman Suleja local government area of Niger State on the forceful demolition of houses belonging to original inhabitants of the old army barracks, Suleja, Niger State. I now invite the chairman House Committee on Public Petition to speak to the report.
Thank you, Chairman. I remain Uzoma Nkem Abonta. This is a petition by described himself as Dr. Ahmed Issa, Ordinary President, on behalf of 8 other persons who had the courage to come and complain against the local government on the forceful demolition of their properties. From an investigation, they appeared to be the original settlers of ex-servicemen resulting from the Biafran war. They were settled at the end of the war in 1970 somewhere in Niger State, and they returned and they had remained there till now when Suleja local government, for the reasons they also stated, decided to forcefully take back the place by demolishing the property, and they petitioned that they had no other place to go to. We consider the report, and in fact, I'm surprised. Ordinarily, I disqualified myself from taking this petition because they now have sued the House and myself based on our hearing of the petition. Alleging a lot of that things that we have no right to do that, and that we are keeping them beyond how they wish to stay, because right now we normally start 2 o'clock. We cannot even go there now until the petition is done. They complain that we compel them to appear. So the findings of the committee was that they infringe on the rights of those occupants of that place, because they had even such occupants had given before to them to occupy there. So we arrived at this recommendation that all respondents, the chairman of the local government, has to relocate all the inhabitants, both the army militaries and the non-army militaries, because their descendants are now there. Some people, some armies that settled there died years ago, leaving the survivors there. So where else do they go to? And the Suleja government should address the violations of the petitioners' fundamental human rights. They've thrown them forcefully out of the place, rendered them homeless. In the process, about 8 persons lost their life. This is grievous, and the annoying thing that the chairman evaded summons only to tell us that he's having a meeting with the Niger State governor on several occasions, more than 5 times, until we issued a warrant of arrest compelling him to come, and he came. The next day, he served us a paper from the court asking us to see that we even detained him when we did not, because we compelled him to come. hear us to state the end of the matter. Mr. Chairman, we need to do something to protect the human rights of the citizens of Nigeria. Otherwise, we leave them at the...
Honorable Abunta, you have two recommendations in that report. The second one is a little bit that the Suleja government should redress the violation of the petitioner for the human rights. Can you just expatiate or throw more light how that can be done?
That the Suleja local government should redress the violations of the petitioners for human rights, which they have violated. One, they have a right to peaceful stay and enjoyment of their property. They have a right to live in, but they render them homeless. They have a right to live peacefully. But through the demolition exercise, they were forcefully removed, their property damaged. They have a right to acquire and have properties. And now, I cannot evaluate and assess the quantum of damages of them. That's what I'm saying. So, if someone's building is destroyed, there should be damages accrued to it. If you want to, for one reason, acquire the land, you relocate him and do some compensation. We're entitled. Can we have that power to assess the damages and what to pay? That's what I'm saying, that they should address that. The fundamental human right. The House can here give further directives as how that can be done. But in essence, at the committee level, then we already recommend to the House that that should be done. But we've discovered and found as a matter of fact, and we're recommending that their fundamental human rights have been breached and violated grossly.
Can the House now advise, or you can, yes, starting from OKJ.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Even before you raised that, I was discussing with my neighbor and good friend, Honorable Muguno. I was saying that this recommendation is too open-ended. You know, I think as many people as stand up to contribute will have their opinion on what this second prayer is actually talking about. We are a parliament, and especially the committee on public petition sits in a quasi-judicial position, and they should, as much as possible, try to be very specific. If we come up with a resolution here, we want it to be implemented. Now, with this, I mean, there's nothing we expect, because they will say they don't know what they are expected to do here. So, either Honorable Bonta should exactly distill it to the basics of what he wants us to do, or we just drop this second prayer. That's my take.
Idea.
Solution. If they cannot, then we now toe the line of the Chairman House Committee on Rules and Business. Honorable Magaji.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Engineer Magaji. I represent Furniture Constituency. Mr. Chairman, I'm from Jigawa State. I've always been a keen observer or follower of the Committee of Public Petitions because of its importance. It's the number 2 item in this chamber. I feel for the very first time, probably the workload is getting too much on them. This committee should go back and give a proper recommendation. Because if you read the findings, even people were killed, people lose their houses. And these are the same electorate, our people. So I'm of the opinion the committee can go further and find out what is the collateral damage, how much of it cost. I recommend it's appropriate. I feel this report should be sent back to the committee to do it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Pajok.
Thank you, Chairman, sir, honorable colleagues. Mr. Chairman, I've just read the report, and I'm also a bit disturbed with the recommendations, particularly the recommendation 2 that you pointed out. Mr. Chairman, sir, if we go to page 2 of the report, particularly the second to the last paragraph, that is 2.7 Roman 6, that is the case of the petitioner. I wanted to find out whether the petitioner himself asked for financial compensation. And that one says, and that's the demand of the petitioner. He demanded that he be given 465 million naira only as compensation for the unlawful demolition of their properties by the Suleja local government. Billion, good. Now, that is their case. Even in court, you will not give somebody what he asked for. But if you see the findings of the committee, they also agreed that there was demolition which rendered some people homeless. And Chairman, like Honorable Magaji said, the Constitution protects the fundamental rights of citizens, and when those rights are violated, they need to be properly redressed. But the issue is, what is the quantum of the redress, and how do we address it? So I agree with him that probably we have to stand this down so that a proper job be done. I know that in the past, we've asked for the experts, those who are the technocrats, they can go and do some, they can get quantity surveillance to do some evaluation and find out what will be the cost that will be commensurate to compensate them for the demolition and the destruction, so that we can have a recommendation that will meet the justice of the case, because we need to do justice. That will be my submission, sir.
Now, Chairman, House Committee on Public Petition.
Thank you, Chairman. I quite share the sentiments and the postulations of the who contributed here. I agree with them. But the committee lacks the competence. We are mindful of getting an estate surveyor to go and get the value of what was destroyed, but we're incapacitated. For taking we cannot. We can't hire the consultant. We don't have the funds. So if the house wants to turn to us so that we can get a proper consultant to do that, 460 billion naira from a local government, that's what they're asking for. They've loved their houses, some love their life, and so on. So we need to do a proper job. We have to get an estate valuer who will quantify what if the house asks us to do that, we will gladly do that. But as a matter of right, they violated their fundamental human rights with impunity. Some about 8 people lost their life. The respondent said, we can only relocate soldiers that are alive. I said, no, but they are up, and so on, and so on. That's what they said. So if we will gladly take this back to do that, if the house is asking us to do that, then it's not a question. We don't have the financial money to further work on this. Thank you.
Yes, money is important, but money cannot be the main constraining factor for not going further on this particular petition. And again, the mere fact that one of the prayers is that the requesting for 460-something billion naira by local government does not meet Chisatratios. It's a local government within the Federal Capital Territory. And you know the value of everything within the capital is almost like 1,000 times of the other local governments, you can find. So they are not asking for what is outrageous. So I'm not going to agree. Yes, we know we are constrained in terms of funding, but it should not be the main factor. The second recommendation is just too open-ended for us now to bang the gavel on something that is open-ended. So what we do is, yes, we will give it back to you, because that is the most reasonable thing to do at this moment. So we'll give back to the committee. We'll give it back to the committee by job. So when they come back, then we cannot talk. Okay.
I know that there's what is called alternative dispute resolution. I've done it in the past, just advice. Sometimes you can advise both the petitioner and the respondent, that's the local government, and the petitioner. You go and bring your quantity surveyor, you bring your own, then they will agree on the quantum of damages or the technical so that it reduces the cost on their own part.
So because of the important nature of this petition, the petition will be stepped down and will be ready, the House will be ready to take the report in under 2 weeks. The next report to be considered is still that of House Committee on Public Petition on the petition by Osita Nwako against Chief of Army Staff on the wrongful retirement from service. And I invite the Chairman House Committee on Public Petition to briefly speak to the report.
Thank you, Chairman. This is a petition brought by one young army officer retired. He claimed in the petition that he was surprised to receive a letter of his retirement compulsory from army for being involved in arms deal and or election matters. He brought the petition saying throughout his years in army, he had never been involved in election matter or arms deal. We called the army to hear their own version. In fact, they had no clue as to why his name entered the retirement list. At the time he got retirement, army, based on his brilliancy, sent him to the University of Ibadan on a very special technical course. They were also paid heavily. His name did not appear in the armed scandal in any form or shape. He had never done any election duty any time in his life, yet he was compulsorily retired. Army had no explanation. Army could not give him all the chances, all the opportunities to make his submission or submit any name. They came here and said they have nothing in his file, that they could not explain how his name entered that list. So we have no other option to come with this recommendation that the House urged respondent, the Nigerian Army, to reinstate petitioner Osita Nwankwo that he should be properly placed alongside his counterparts in the military, that all his entitlements, including salaries and emoluments, be paid for. We did this to avoid impunity where somebody may not like somebody's face and you add this because the chief of staff said, I don't know how things came there. The secretary to the Army Council, in fact, they could not find anything about that in his file. And during the investigation, it was proved beyond doubt that he had never been in any election duty or 100 miles near to where they are even voting and so on. Talk less of that. So we have no option but to hold this. In this democratic principle and time, the army must be able to abide by norms that are very, very natural. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This report has 3 recommendations. Recommendation 1, recommendation 2, recommendation 3. The last report for today is still out of the House Committee on Public Petition on a petition by Olumuyiwa Ogunlami and Co. on behalf of Delfino Antonia Mekanda and 3 other family members against the federal government and the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos on the refusal of the federal government to pay all the compensation on their land acquired for the establishment of the University of Lagos, Akoka, Lagos State. Joined in the petition include the Attorney General of the Federation, the Surveyor General of the Federation, and the Federal Ministry of Education. And I invite the Chairman House Committee on Public Petition to speak to the report.
Thank you, Chairman. This is another petition that a lot of it will still come to this House. The federal government acquired the land where the University of Lagos is situated today. The acquisition paper as of 1962 shows the extent of land acquired. Till this, in the year of the Lord 2018, compensation had not been paid for 162 hectares of land acquired by that acquisition order. They paid them compensation. That is not all. University of Lagos had on their own encroached on areas outside the acquisition notice, about 7 hectares extra they've acquired. So they're asking University of Lagos to get that from where they did not give them while they await compensation. They were asking for 4 billion naira compensation. But looking at the paper, we made 2 recommendations to urge the respondent, University of Lagos, to vacate and desist from encroaching on the area of the land not acquired. 5 government notice number 244 dated 12 December 1962, published in Federal Gazette in Gazette number 105, volume 49 of 29 December 1962. They should restrict themselves to that acquisition. That's what the family members willingly gave. But they have done a lot of encroachment on that. Then we're also asking that the Attorney General of the Federation and the Federal Ministry of Education should engage a competent estate surveyor to compute the value of compensation payable to the petitioner, Dafino, Antonio, and Goa. May I make an amendment that there's a typo error on the name? The name should read Dafino, Antonio, Marada. I don't know whether they were police or Senegalese, but that's the name of the family they brought. Our Brazilian who settled early in Lagos. You know, Lagos is coastal, whatever, but that's the name of the depot. So now we're also asking that if I come by way of amendment, because of what we are asking, we are not competent to say pay the 4 billion or pay otherwise, but let there be a budgetary provision in the ongoing budget. So if they resolve the amount payable, they can now have part payment or full payment if it is satisfied, and that's why we resolve this. Look at the findings. We called on Lagos. The University of Lagos came and said, well, they are not there on their own. They are put by the federal government. Federal government, in general, not making any response. He came and said, submit your papers. They had nothing to submit. The family submitted the survey plan, the gazette, and all whatnot. They are there. But the federal government, of which this is part of, did not make any compensation. Obviously, as a matter of finding, they have not made compensation. The federal government is here to pay compensation, and if the family is not for the Christmas, therefore they should be paid. But the most important, the one we could say, Lagos State should desist from encroaching further. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. This report has two recommendations. Recommendation 1. Okay, Ajok.
Chairman, after listening to the report, before we can say that we agree even with the first recommendation for the university to vacate the land, we must be satisfied that the petitioner has made out a case which we agree with as a house before we make this recommendation. So there's the issue of fair hearing in this matter, and that's why I stood up quickly. Yes, the report says, and the chairman of the Public Petitions Committee has told us that the Solicitor General of the Ministry of Justice appeared before them and said they will write the Ministry of Education and the Vice Chancellor of the University. But sir, the rules of fair hearing demands that we ought to hear from the University of Lagos, which is on the land, before we say they have encroached on an extra land, because there's the issue of the parties now. If the committee only invited the Attorney General and assumed that because he's the chief law officer of the division, he knows all, we ought to have gone further to also invited the University of Lagos and all those so as to establish whether actually there was encroachment on the land. So I'm of the view, sir, that again we step this down and actually give a fair hearing. Otherwise, they will have a very good case to say nobody invited them, they were not there, and therefore this case has not really been made. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman.
Thank you. Pardon me if I'm not able to explain all. Throughout the 10 sittings, the University of Lagos were invited. Federal Ministry of Education were invited. I only invited Attorney General as the custodian. They were all there. In fact, they made an appearance. I said they were helpless. And after 3 months or more than, fair hearing, SN, means giving an opportunity to be heard, but not that you must be heard. We placed the opportunity for them to come and say. And they came and had nothing to say. So we certified the essence of fair hearing, but if you want us to, that we didn't invite Lagos State.
Confirmed to us that they were actually present and they came to defend their position and they said they were helpless. Then we don't have any alternative. But of course, there were evidences that they were duly invited through Mr. Chairman. Letter, everything, so things like that.
Our hearing notices are all there. Present that they were summoned and they even made appearance. They made appearance. They and said they are there by virtue of Federal Ministry of Education. We invited Federal Ministry of Education. You see, we are running a problem until we begin to bite. We give someone, they don't come. Attorney General appeared once and said, look, I'm going to write the letter. The letter didn't come to today.
That if they were duly invited and they made an appearance or several appearances, it must be part of the findings, so that whoever that wants to take on the recommendation, having read findings first, will not be able to subject those recommendations to some scrutiny. So, as the presiding officer here, I want to agree with Bajok to that particular instance must be part of the findings. That they were invited and they came. Then it will be part of the findings that they did not present anything. So, Chairman, based on that, we will also want to step down this one because it's something that concerns, especially a university for that matter. They want to not let go just easily like that. They want to prove some. So, Chairman, rules of business. Oh, empty. Okay, we'll come back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I still want to agree with the learned Sith. Honorable Abanta is a lawyer, I think, of many years standing in the bar. He knows that any evidence, any finding that is not supported by evidence is perverse, and therefore it cannot hold water. So long as the evidence of their appearance or the evidence of their being served with notices is not in the report before us, the findings are perverse and cannot hold water. And therefore I agree with the observation of Honorable Fajok and the chairman. And then this bill should not, because fundamental human rights is very, very fundamental, and it goes to the root of the matter. And therefore, if it is not established, we cannot proceed further. It should be stepped down. Thank you.
I quite appreciate the statement shared by my colleagues, most of the legal minders in here. If you read what we have here, in this matter, the University of Lagos actually, they are necessary parties, but the real party is the Attorney General, the Solicitor General. And he appeared, both appeared, look at the responding case. The Solicitor General, the Federal and Permanent Secretary, wrote a letter to the committee stating that the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation is not a necessary party to this. That was their own argument when they are. And said that he has written letters to the Honorable Minister of Education, Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, and Secretary General of the Federation being necessary parties. These persons came. I agree, we will begin to put all findings, but let me shout again. I don't have the papers, I don't have the funds, so we'll try to put that succinctly. These parties came. It's stated here.
One beautiful thing about your job is you do it with passion. We all appreciate that. And that you have not fallen short of the expectation of the leadership of the house, the way you carry out your function. So don't worry. You are assured of our confidence. We repose in you, and that can never be taken away from you. But the first thing remains that lawyers have spoken, and that in the language of MT, that if the evidences are not real and they cannot be, cited, then your recommendation will be perverse or something. So, Honorable Abota, please, we appreciate, as far as I'm concerned, we appreciate your job. And you keep talking about money. The little you have, use it to prosecute cases like this, so that you can get to a very good conclusion where you cannot be, things will not be easily voted. I've not made my ruling. Abota, take your seat, Abota, first. So this report too will be stepped down and should be brought back the next 2 weeks. Honorable Abota, this report is stepped down and your further job done on it should be brought back in the next 2 weeks. Leader.
Honorable. Okay, leader is around. So.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I rise to move that this House revert to plenary to report progress. I so move.
Honorable Chairman, honorable members, my name is Mohammed Mongono. I hereby second the motion as ably moved by the leader of the House.
The House hereby reverts back to plenary to report progress. Honorable colleagues, the House in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Sports on a bill for an act to repeal Nigeria Football Association Act, Chapter N110, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and reenact the Nigeria Football Federation Bill to provide for the administration of the game of football in Nigeria and for related matters, and approved clauses 1 to 48, scheduled explanatory memorandum, and long title of the bill. The House in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Agricultural Production and Services on a bill for an act to establish the Fishery Institute of Nigeria and charged with the responsibility for registration and discipline of members of the profession and for related matters, and approved clauses 1 to 26, the schedules, the explanatory memorandum, and long title of the bill. The House in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Public Petition on the petition by Ordinary President Dr. Ahmed Issa on behalf of Samuel David and 8 others against the Chairman Suleja Local Government Council of Niger State on the forceful demolition of houses belonging to original inhabitants of the old Army Barracks, Suleja, Niger State, and deferred consideration of the report. The House in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Public Petitions on the petition by Osita Nwako against the Chief of Army Staff on his wrongful retirement from service and approved the 3 recommendations therein. The House in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Public Petitions on the petition by Olumuyiwa Ogolami and Co. on behalf of Difano Antonia Mikanda and 3 others family members against the federal government and the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos on the refusal of the federal government to pay compensation on the land acquired for the establishment of the University of Lagos Akoka, Lagos State. Also joined in the petition are the Attorney General of the Federation, the Surveyor General of the Federation, and the Federal Minister of Education, and the further consideration of the report. Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to move that this House adopt the committee of report on the Committee of the Whole. I so move.
Empty.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohammed Tahir. I hereby second the motion as ably moved by the leader of the House.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader.
Speaker, I rise to move that this House adjourn till tomorrow, 11 a.m. I so move.
Empty.